So what we're going to do now is we are going to, I'm talking about me, I am going to work on creating a painting that's not one of the muted ones. I love to create within the confines of very muted colors, but a lot of times I want to use color. So here is a palette, and let me just show you if you want to make, because we talk about the color and the values, and that's what the lesson is. So let's talk about making a blue. Someone asked the color, do you always have to use black? And the answer is no. You can use blue, and then you can take blue and make it darker. And let me show you the color wheel. You can get these color wheels off Amazon. This is Robert Burridge's one. This is David Kessler's. And what the color wheel does is help you understand the different colors and how you can make a color lighter or darker, tint shade. And we're going to get into color. That's going to probably be, but we're talking about value in relationship to color. So if you look at the color wheel and you go to blue over here, opposite would be an orange, and that would make your color darker. So say we were to, let me just paint something here. Say we were to use, this is ultramarine blue, and we're going to be using that on a painting. And I don't always like to use it right out of the tube, but for the sake of this demonstration, let's just start with a painting where this is right out of the tube. Now this is watercolor paper. This is the Canson. And so let's just, I don't want to do that in the middle. Let's just start. Get a little wet here. Okay, I'm going to add some white. And I'm using a little palette sheet here. So I'm going to add in some white here. I'm going to deliberately let it mix with some of my blue. We're going to add several layers to this. All right, so we have a start of a painting. And I have said that we have to make sure that there are different values in the painting. So let's say we want to add a darker blue in here. So I'm just going to keep painting here. I'm adding some lighter. Now the lighter is being picked up by the white. Okay. So let me also, while I have this going here, I'm going to bring in some yellow. So when we talk about yellow, we're talking about yellow and blue are definitely the primary colors. So with the yellow, I'm just going to add a little bit of Titan Buff so it's not the pure yellow right out of the tube. So let me just... I'm adding some more. I'm mixing. Let me see if I put this over here. I'm mixing some of this Titan Buff with some of this white, with some of yellow, and just adding some different colors. Always got to use my finger. Need to bring some more blue down here. Bottom of this, because this is dried up. Unfortunately, I hate that. This is an expensive tube of paint. So let's mix some of this out. But I want to use this color in mixing for you. It's almost the same color as the ultramarine blue. Slightly different. So as you can see, I have a lot of the same hues going on here. I mean, a lot of the same values going on here. Okay? I don't have any excitement. I can go in with a palette knife and make marks like I like to, but that's not going to help. We still need some good value here. So let me go in with a some line work always helps. Let's add with our blue. Let's add some gray up here. Okay, that's bringing in some different color, you know, different value here. Let's mix some of the white in. Okay, but we still need some contrast, right? This is still in need of some help. So I like pink. So what if I add some of the Mars pale pink? I love pink. I put pink in my art a lot. Still the same value. Everything is still the same value. There's nothing that is standing out except for maybe this black line here. So let's take this sheet again where I had the color, and let's make it darker. Now, right out of the tube, that's darker. So let's work on making that even darker. Okay. So let's take the ultramarine blue. Let's take some cadmium orange. And cadmium orange, let me just show you. Here's cadmium orange with the Liquitex, heavy body Liquitex. Here's a cadmium orange with golden. Let's make sure this is not dried up. Big difference. I'm going to go with the cadmium orange with golden. So let's mix these two. So let's take some blue and some orange. Okay, so we're going to add a little more blue. If we do equal colors, you're going to get the mud. Let's add a little bit more. Okay. Let's even add a little more than that. That's a real pretty blue. So let's take our painting back here. And this is just a very rough painting. And let's decide where we might want to put. There we go. That's a nice dark value. Let's add some up here. Now this is not a pretty painting, but what I'm trying to do is show you value. All of a sudden, this painting has a lot more going on with it because of the value. I mean, you can still, you know, play with it. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to just use black. You can use different blue, you can do reds, you can do different things. Now let's go ahead and take this sheet here where I took that blue I keep losing my tubes. Let's take this blue, same one, ultramarine blue, and let's add some burnt umber. There are a lot of artists that use burnt umber all the time. So I have a Liquitex burnt umber. Let's see what kind of dark color we can get from that. Let's take the blue. Just take a little bit of the burnt umber. Take more of the blue. Okay, let's add more of the blue. So you've got a very dark, you've almost got a black blue there. Let's add that to the painting. Let's see, maybe I'm going to use a tad there. I'm going to use a brush. And look how dark that is. That's a lot darker. It's not black, but it definitely is darker. So this is just to kind of help you know that values, it does not have to just be in the grayscale. It can also be in like using the blues. Now let's take this again and let's do the cobalt blue, because maybe you have that. Okay. And let's add some of the cadmium orange again. It's about the same color, slightly different. The point is if you have this blue in your painting, you're going to want to have a way to make it darker so you can change the value. Now there's a really pretty, that's a really pretty blue. Look at that. That's almost like a navy blue. I don't know if you can see that, the difference between the blues. This is a very, very navy blue. So even if we were to take some white and add that in, you've got some almost like a gray blue. All right, and then let's take some of the yellow that we were talking about, the cadmium yellow. We mix that in with the blue. Depends on the amount that you put together. There's a beautiful green. So, would I add that green to my painting? Okay. Maybe a couple places here just to kind of give it some differences. It brought it down to the same hue. You still needed to have the dark here. Maybe I would just make it very fun. Now let's take some of that yellow, some of that orange, and mix it with this green. Actually, some of these greens that I'm doing, you will get and you will use in landscapes as opposed to a Christmas tree green. So there's just some more, maybe very muted. You're just adding. Now what's happening is a lot of these colors are going to be very harmonized because you're using the mix. If you mix them together, they look good together. It's just something magical that seems to happen. Now, let's bring this painting back. So I hope you understand the concept of this. This is not a beautiful, beautiful painting. But what I'm trying to show you, let me move this so it doesn't take away from the painting, is the painting of adding all the same hues. I normally do black and white, but you can use blues and make the blues darker. Let's do a white right here with the yellow. So if I wanted to bring in some of the lighter value and I don't want to just use white, here it is with some yellow. So that can also be brought in to help lighten up. See how much lighter that is? So you may want to have some light white. That just helps right there. Look at the combination. What if I just put that here? The value of bringing in the light and the darks on this painting, and you're creating it with the colors you've already used. You're not just using white, you're not just using black. You're taking your blue. Whoops, well that's kind of nice. You're taking your blue, you're taking your yellow, and you are bringing the values down by adding white to the yellow. And on the blue, we added cadmium orange. Okay. So once this dried, could I continue? Yes. Some of the things I do is I do my asemic writing in my painting. Do scratches. I could continue to scratch through things. And then you would start using the marks that you like to use. So let's say you wanted to do, and like I said, this wasn't to create a beautiful painting. This was to create a start of a painting and show you how to change the values with not just using black and white. So again, I hope you understand, this wasn't to create a beautiful painting that I was going to sell. This was to create a painting that was to help show you that most of us create initially within those midtones, and also to show you how to bring in value to look at your work. Now, if you look at the painting, the finished one that I did on the left, if you look at it in the grayscale, you'll see that you have the different values. And if you did not have those values, the darker and the lighter, the painting's going to be just another painting that just, it's like, what's wrong with it? Of course, adding in your particular marks, I'm going to show you at the end where I went in and added some of my marks. Did it make it better? Well, you know, it's up to you as the artist. Some people would say, this is the painting that I like better. Before, Cheryl, you made all your extra marks on it. Totally up to you as an artist. But the point is, when you use color, that you can take the value scale of, say you're going to do a red painting, and I'm going to show you in the next video how I did a red painting and did the whole background with different values and then added something on the top to kind of give you a different idea. But this video is not about color, it's about value, but to look at how you can create value. It does not need to be just black and white. You can actually play with your complementary colors. You can take, say it's a red painting, and then you play with the green, or you'll see me add even some black. You're going to play with different colors to make your values different. So don't get discouraged if you finish your painting and you look at it and you don't know what's wrong. We are going to go more into shapes, sizes, differences in later videos. But this concept of values is that important to understand this. Does it happen overnight for you? No, it's going to take you practice. And you're going to get done, and then you're going to still say, okay, there's something wrong. And then once you start to understand shape, and there's so many other things that you can look at, but value is the most important. So I hope this helped. We're going to, I'm going to do the, finish up the red one video for you, edit it, and then show you that one. But if you, and then at the end, I'll show you the painting where I actually went in and added some of my particular marks, which is going to be your own marks that you do as an artist that make you different from everybody else. Alright, so this is my painting, and this is after I've added my specific marks that I make as an artist in my artist journey, like the splatter marks, the spray paint with the numbers, a lot of the islamic writing with the graphite, a lot of up in the top left hand corner, that big scribble mark, some white zero type markings, and sometimes an infinity. Those are the things you're going to add in at the very end. But I hope you understand that the concept of this particular video was just to help hone in on value using color. This was not a video to do a finished painting. It was not a video to go into all the aspects of color. It was a video to show you that most of us paint initially are painting within that mid-range, and then when you are at some point is when you're going to look at your values, the darkest dark and the lightest light. And even though this is blues, I'm going to do in the next video, which is going to show you some reds, a red painting. So you can do this with any color painting, or even a multicolor painting that you can do. But I wanted to try to do something simple enough for you to understand the concept of value, how to create value by adding in maybe the complementary color,
or some other colors. There's so much more